logic. We are not talking about the emotions. This is a separation. I believe that your points are very important points to what we saw. And I read something important also in a report today regarding a tattoo on someone's arm.
Yes,
and it is,
we have a shot of the tattoo, please, Rida.
Yes, but make it separate, not with the whole scene, please.
No, just a separate tattoo.
Yes, the tattoo, it's something very, very different. But now let's talk about the importance. You want me to stay in the point of professionality or to the goals of the message? What would you like me to comment on?
Just the footage that you saw.
The footage is very, very professional.
If I can interrupt you for a second,
yes.
This is a picture of one of those murderers,
yes.
to say the least, or terrorists. He has a tattoo on his arm, the United States
Army?
Yes, and it is worth noting for those who are not aware, allegedly, and I'm saying allegedly, the terrorist Daesh group is using the word Islam as a pretext for their terrorist atrocious act. If they're real Muslims, in Islam, tattoo is prohibited. For those who are not aware, in Islam, when you do a tattoo, you stepped out of your faith. This is not something that's accepted in Islam. And if you do a tattoo, definitely you will not do a United States Army tattoo, unless you are affiliated somewhat to the United States Army.
So this is regarding the professionality. Again, look at the, let's hear again the voice of the speaker.
Yes.
His English is very fluent English. And it's not, it doesn't, in the accent, it doesn't look like an Arab English speaking.
What kind of an accent? I mean, usually you can detect the way you pronounce some words.
I'm not an expert, in fact, I'm not an expert, but he is, it's very obvious for us as Arabs that he is not an Arab. Because the Arabs, when they are speaking English, they are very obvious.
Have an accent.
Yes, we have an accent, and we are talking in, we speak English in a different way.
Unless
you're born there.
Unless you're born or educated for quite some time over there.
So their education is not an Arab, and it's not belonging to the region.
I mean, you could be originally an Arab, but you've lived there most of your life, so you picked up the correct accent.
Yes, ma'am. This is what I started with in the very beginning with my introduction, that our region, our beliefs in this region, and our souls, ideologies, what to say, spirits, is something very, very different. I was talking to my father before we get into the studio, how we are very close to each other, and we don't differentiate between the Muslim and the Christian here in the region. We lived like this in this life for thousands of years, and this what we are seeing now is something very odd, very weird about what we are living and about the reality which is happening here in the region. You talked about, or you remarked, in fact, about the bodybuilding. The bodybuilding doesn't show that they are from this region, especially in the
frame.
waist.
It's a very large frame.
Number one, but I'm talking about the waist. Look at the waist. The Mediterraneans, go to any doctor and he will tell you that the Mediterraneans, their waist is low, and it's lower than what we saw. Look at their belts on their waists. It's higher than the Mediterranean humans, people who are living in this region. It's something different, and it doesn't belong to someone different. Now let's use the language. Why did they use this language if they are an Arab and they are sending their messages, or their messages, not only message, to the Arabs?
Yes.
This is important. Can I go on that, or I'm talking too much?
Go ahead.
Yes, please. So I
the
believe
message,
that,
why in English?
Yes, why in English? First, maybe because they cannot talk in Arabic. They don't know how to talk in Arabic. Number two, whom they are targeting. Let's be very, very focused and direct. To whom this message, if they are talking in English? They are using Egyptian bodies, humans, persons, but they are sending their message to different direction. The first word that he used, that spokesman, he was talking to Europe, especially in Italy. Maybe the Vatican? Maybe. Number two, he was talking while he was in the shore and sending the message through the water of the ocean to the or the sea to the other side of the Mediterranean Sea. He talked to Italy, and he was pointing to the Italians and Europeans. He said, we are going to fight Europe through as a whole nation and through Italy. This is the direction. So he is using the geography, the close up between Italy and Libya through the narrowest place in this region, if I'm good in geography. So these are the major points that they are using. I will stop at this to not to talk too much.
We'll get into why those countries in a few moments. But before we do so, it's worth noting, Reverend Safwat Bayady, is that Egyptians always coincided. We never knew. I mean, I personally, for example, didn't know that one of our famous actresses, Mary Munib, was a Christian. You never really thought about this.
This is the first time
she is.
I know that she's Egyptian.
Yes.
Exactly,
yes.
exactly.
We too, we don't know that she was a Christian.
We never differentiated. We never differentiated. We always coexisted. This act, the singling out of 21 Christians, and I'm sorry to differentiate here because there are 21 Egyptians, but the way it is the way they have been singled out, there was always an agenda to try to divide and conquer. The secular fight has always been initiated for years now in Egypt, even before the Mubarak regime ended. This was always used. Why is it that it is reignited again?
If I may add it, if you remember when we have January 25th, and when after Rab'a al-Adawiyya, here they attacked the churches, and they burned the churches, and they pulled down the churches. I think we cannot separate what was done here by destroying the churches, and at that time our voice was, okay, let the church be destroyed, but not the human being. We respect the human being, not the building. Building can be replaced.
This is what Pope Twadros said, that you can pray in a nation without a church, but not in a church without a nation.
That's right. So if you just join or take these two issues, looking for the Christians there, and insult them, insult their religion, insult the cross, as we heard, and then they killed them. When they arrested them, we had some talks that somebody was, one of the Muslim Egyptian was trying to defend them. They threatened him, unless you open the door for us to arrest those people and take them, we will kill you. And they pointed with the gun at the Muslim friend who was going to respect or to protect his fellow Christians there. So it seems that they are talking maybe to Europe, because the European countries said that all these people who went to fight with this organization, we will drop out. They will drop their nationality.
Yes.
So they are saying, okay, if you are going to drop our nationality, now we are killing the people and killing the Christians. If you are Christian countries, I don't think that there are Christian countries, because the problem that sometimes we connect or religion with nationality. It has nothing to do.
No. And religion is used as a pretext.
Of course.
This is a camouflage.
So I don't think there is one building in this big city without having both Christian and Muslims in the same building.
Exactly.
Our neighbors are the same. We cannot say who is the owner of this house, or who is my neighbor. This is our nature. We are not separated here in this country. In any
They're trying to.
They're trying to build the defenses in between, or to upset our mood, our relationship, to spoil the relationship we have, all our history.
Yes, Reverend Bayady, in the past, we had a lot of human rights organizations, especially from the U.S. visiting Egypt, and this council that always came and discussed discrimination, how allegedly Christians in Egypt were discriminated against. The United States always sent this council, members of Congress and what have you. Yet I'm quite amazed that we didn't see strong statements by the U.S. administration vis-a-vis this issue. I mean, I would have expected tougher statements. Why?
I don't think we had a lot of talks in America exactly with the congressmen, and when they try to distinguish, say they are treating the Christians this ways, and sometimes they say trying to the court is giving sentence of this for 500 people. I was asked this question by one of the congressmen there, and they take a part of the issue and say, how can you just in 2 weeks give a sentence of this for 538 people, and they know by numbers. And he was one of the very important people in the Congress. I said, you have a little bit of the story. He said, in 2 weeks, judge gave a sentence of this. I said, because they were absent. In their absence, they get the highest penalty. When they show up and go to the court, it will be dropped. They don't know, they just take an issue and just put all the lights around, and they don't complete the story.
But what about human rights when it comes to people being slaughtered that way? There is no human rights here?
No. They say, okay, they are not right people, but how do you deal with they take the issue of the government, not the issue of those people. I say, yes, they are sinners, they are criminals, but why you treat all the people alike? We are not treating all the people alike. We have a very long, deep press. We take a lot of time, give a lot.